A hearty good afternoon to you, and welcome back to the Hongkwa High School, where we've got an exciting, thrilling contest coming up for you. Now, let's not forget, this is the National School Games East Zone Badminton Championships. We are looking at the senior division girls. We did finish off with the third and fourth place matchup earlier in the day, and that was won by Pochin High School. They were quite prolific in their exploits, and they got the better of Paya Lebar Methodist 3-2. That is, out of 5 events, they won 3 events, and Paya Lebar Methodist won 2. But right now, it's going to be an entirely different story as we are into the finals. This is the big event. This is what we've been waiting for, to find out who will be crowned zonal champions. Now, Tao Nan High School, who are known for their who are known to be really efficient in this game. They have a lot of focus on badminton, and they're well recognized in the sport, especially in this arena. They take on Konghua, which is the home school, and it's interesting to find out what's going to happen as our young ladies will start off the first game. That's Cheyenne Ang, who is representing Tao Nan, and for Konghua, it will be Renee Tang. Renee is also the captain of the school. If you want to identify them, and just in case you haven't been able to catch their uniforms, Tao Nan always in the blue and black, and in the dual colored t-shirt, which has a bright yellow and blue, or bright green and blue, you can put it. That's Renee Tang of Konghua. So interesting, this matchup, and let's not forget it's a best of 5 that we're looking at. We've got 3 singles and 2 doubles matchups. While Cheyenne and Renee battle each other, it's going to be time to also inform you about the other doubles. But just before I do that, let me remind you once again to go to go.gov.sg/NSG. And there's a reason for it. Well, you can stay updated on all the current sports and activities that's happening as far as the schools are concerned. And also with the National School Games, you get to watch a few clips, read news articles, and support our young athletes. You can also follow us on Facebook, or you could catch the videos on YouTube. So don't forget, these athletes need your support. And just to be fair, coming from me, I've always loved being a part of local sports. It's so important to all of us. I mean, keep it alive. We all love playing it. Let's see the young ones, support them, give them that encouragement that they require. It's just a warm-up session that's going on between the young ladies. Now, let me keep you updated on what's happening on the next court. Right next door, it's Olivia Lim and Alyssa Wee of Tao Nan School, who are facing off with Konghua's Althea So and Melissa Po. Now, that, of course, starts off around the same time that the singles kicks off. Remember, whichever school wins 3 events first, and it's that school that'll cap off the championship. So the finale comes up in just a little bit. Stay with us right here at the Konghua School as the National School Games East Zone Badminton Championships continues. Also, just in case you're trying to figure out what's happening in the boys section, well, it's Tao Nan that are in 6th gear right now in the boys division as well. Stay tuned. We'll give you more on that in a bit.
Represented by Hui Shan. And on my left, Konghua School, represented by Renee Tan Li Ling. Tao Nan School to serve, level, play.
Tao Nan start off with the serve, and it was Cheyenne Ang that was conceded a point, and Renee Tang of Konghua will serve with a single point in a bag. Unable to return that, just drag that a little bit. Interesting here for right through this day. I haven't really seen a left-hander actually get onto the badminton court. Not for today's contest. So it's the first one that I'm looking at. Cheyenne Ang, very interesting. Always key that left and right combination. You know, it makes the reach of shots entirely different and the way that you play them. So currently, Renee Tang very much in control of this. She's been trying to, well, keep a steady lead because she knows how important this is. This is not just, a prelims or not even the quarterfinals, and knockout stages can be important, but this is the final. It's worth its weight in gold, and that's why it's so important to, our young athletes who are on court right now. Still leading 5-2. That's Rennie Thang. Just a few questions being asked here of Shine Ang by the home team's captain. That's Rennie Thang. And Shine, of course, has got the serve. Lovely return there. Absolutely lovely return. And well, this is what's important, to be able to pull those points. Keep your head on your shoulders and keep your eyes on the opponent's game. You never want to make it easy, but lovely return this time. A gentle little drop right from the back court. She's done well. So it is Rennie who now leads 6 points to 4. And service will return to the Thao Nan representative. Yes, Shine Ang. That is so important to keep well track of your opponent. It's turning out to be a fairly closely fought affair. It's been an entirely different story for well, Thao Nan and in the boys section, they've been rooting the other team entirely. So here it is, 7-all. I did say it was a closely fought encounter, and fighting back, it's Shine Ang. She's a nifty little player, and that tumbling shot will not work in her favor for Rennie Thang. So taking the lead now, it is Shine. So 8-all back again. Just looking to see whether that clear was in the clear for her, and it certainly was, which means she's now on to 9 points. Very interesting game. That's an interesting contest that's brewing between these two young ladies. Oh, lovely placement there. Did she get that right? Let's get a view of that, and yes, she did. Fantastic play. Shine Ang, very good with her return of serve. She was able to pick that up from that forehand drive earlier, enforced by Rennie Thang. Well, both girls able to knock in well the points and make a few unforced errors. So it's now over to Rennie Thang. And it's a very close, very, very close contest that we're looking at as Shine Ang of Thao Nan takes the 2-point lead into the interval. But don't forget, her opponent, Rennie Thang, has also put in a very, very good performance. So it's currently 11-9 in the first interval. Let's not forget that we've also got a doubles matchup that's happening on the next court, and that's Olivia Lim and Alyssa Wee facing off with Althea So and Melissa Po. Olivia and Alyssa represent Thao Nan, while Althea and Melissa are from Kong Hwa. It's very important for Kong Hwa today because I must tell you, I was talking to their teachers a while back, and they said, this is the 68th anniversary of the school, 68th of Kong Hwa, and they would love nothing more than to win this game. So to get a finals, well, that's to get a finals win, matter of pride for them. And they won this contest many times in the past. While, to be fair, Kong Hwa have always been in the top 4 as well in the zonals, sometimes in the top 3. So they're both tough teams, and they are well respected. They focus a lot on their badminton, both these schools. Oh, lovely return from Shainung, but the second time around it is Rennie Thang who will dominate, and it's even Stevens back again. How close is this encounter turning out to be? Now here's Rennie Thang to serve at 11 points. Lofts that up easy, looking for that cross-court forehand, and she's actually delivered it well, Shainung, to win the service back again, and she's on 12 points. So the birdie just changing hands a couple of times over, but this time Rennie Thang just puts it wide, and that's handed it back to Shainung. Oh, that was going to be not really a net killer, but just a clean finish, I'd call it, from Rennie Thang. So here it is, 12-13. Was looking to knock that, just keep that drive well fairly low. The odd thing about using, a quick forehand drive, it can be so, well, difficult to master, because unlike a smash, you don't need a certain amount of height to get behind. So 14-13, Rennie Thang still holding the lead here. She battles it out with Shainung. Oh, lovely placement by Shan. Good return from Rennie. Oh, she's made her sweat. Absolutely made her sweat, and I wouldn't believe that. She's done well. Well, just made young Shan run as much as she could to stretch the length and breadth of the court. And twice with the finish, with the rally earlier, and now with the serve, she's got it within the line of play. So she's got a slim lead, but it's back to Shainung. And what can Shan come to the table with? Well, decent net play, and that tumbling net shot is always going to be difficult to get under. There are some players who can actually return that, but not as successful because it's too close to the net. So now 15-17. Shainung to serve to Rennie Thang. She doesn't know how that got past her. Just failed to make a point of contact with the birdie right at the at a crucial time, actually. But she won't be complaining too much. It's now 19-15, and young Rennie Thang of Kong Hwa seems to be in a fairly comfortable position. Can she take this to game point? Oh, lovely drop shot from Shainung. And she does win the serve back. And, at that age, just that ability to use a backcourt drop, just position it so, it's so near to the net. Well, it's now game point as Rennie Thang leads 20-16. Very, very interesting. Well, this game, I've actually enjoyed every bit of it so far. Well, wanted that to go out, and it certainly did. She's on to 17 points now. Young Shainung, well, battling it out with Rennie Thang of Kong Hwa. And that's well played. Perfect placement by Rennie Thang. She's made young Shain sweat it out a couple of times over, but she's won it 21-17. And, well, she had to work for that win. It didn't just come on a platter, which means that Shainung could very well come back in the next game and stretch this to a best of three. So it's all happening right here at the Kong Hwa High School. Remember what I said earlier, that it was going to be exciting and it's not going to be a one-sided affair. Well, it certainly isn't. This is the National School Games, East Zone Badminton Championships. Remember, we are concentrating on the senior division, primary, and it's a zonal event. So today, whoever wins between Tao Nan School and Kong Hwa will be crowned zonal champions in the East. Last year we couldn't have many of the contests, and there was a reason for it. It was the pandemic. This year also, with precautions needing to be taken, there's not going to be the main championship. We're just going to rest it at zonal champions for the time being. games will continue this week right up till the 8th, which is heartwarming for us, and it's been exciting to, support all our youngsters who haven't really got too much of time out, a part of the entire plan in the year to meet up in contests like this. Back to the action right before us. We shall keep you updated on the doubles event as well, but for the singles event, it's Rennie Thang who will serve after winning the first game 21-17. And it starts off with Yang Shine winning a single point. She'll be excited about that. It was Rennie trying to use, well, the net to advantage. And it's the second time around that Yang Shine is now making, well, Rennie Thang stretch a bit. Interesting change of play. So Shainung leads, or was leading. It's now 3-all. And service back to Rennie Thang. Looking for the finish. That's what she really wants in this game. And I'm talking about young Rennie Thang. Again, trying to create that slim lead. And she's up to 5 points, just 2 ahead of her Tao Nan rival. Exerting just a little bit more effort in now. And she's done well, Shainung. She actually tempted Rennie Thang to take that shot. Rennie unable to scale the net, but it's now absolutely fantastic shot. To place it within the line, not always the easiest for these young athletes. And well, just looks like Shainung has mastered the backcourt drop shot. She used it a couple of times effectively today. And both players really looking for looking to avoid one element, and that is the rallies. They don't want them. They're trying to stick to, quick serve and placement. It's now 6-all. 7-6, and it's turning out to be such a tight affair. Well, the first one was, and the second one has just turned out to be the same. Well, the Tao Nan boys school, on the other hand, have been having a field day. So it's 7-all now, and this is pretty much what happened in the last game as well. It was neck and neck right towards the end. Left to be seen if this time it's Shainung who will get the better. Therefore now she leads 8-7. A decent clear. But wasn't entirely in control of the last effort. And that's just handed the birdie back to Rennie Thang. Just a word from the umpire to treat the birdie with respect. Well, sometimes, and the momentum, it's difficult to keep track of everything. It's so much of discipline required in every sport, but badminton even more so. You don't have ball girls and ball boys and anyone running around the place. It's all about you. And it's not really needed because the birdie doesn't fly off too far. It remains within your area of play or the court. So it's now 10-all, and not much has changed since the last game. What's left to be seen is which among these two young ladies will take that lead into the break, and it's going to be Renee Thang of Kong Hwa, who's got 11 points in the bag, and she leads young Cheyenne Ang 11-10.
Part 3, 20 seconds. Part 3, 20 seconds. Thank you, coach. Come player on the court.
So here we get into resuming this game. It's a key game actually for young Cheyenne Ang. She's got to win this game to stay in the match, but otherwise Renee Thang might just run away with the first win in the first matchup. Well, backhand finish. I'd call that a backhand net soft killer. But well done by Renee Thang. She's got a 2-point lead. And twice that shot has worried her, going into just pop it over the net for young Cheyenne Ang. She really wants that net to work to her advantage, and now being forced to drag that shot wild. So Renee Thang has now stretched the lead. She's on to 14 points. And the birdie, of course, has had a few feathers clipped, so we'll get a new shuttlecock to play with. You need a new birdie.
Service over. 11-14.
Well, nice play
Service over.
from Renee Thang. So Cheyenne Ang, just after the interval, losing a bit of momentum.
16-11.
And more importantly, just that drive that she had. She is trying her best still, but needs to pack in a lot more of conviction, a lot more, skill that she has in her gameplay.
17-11.
But for the moment, it's 17-11, and it's Renee Thang of Kong Hwa who leads Cheyenne Ang of Tao Nan.
Service over. 12-17.
Here's Cheyenne Ang.
13-17.
And this is the most brilliant part of any game or any athlete in any sport. The ability to fight back, not to throw in the towel.
13.
Having said that, Renee Thang of Kong Hwa still leads, and she's on 18 points.
19-13.
So 19-13, she's slowly now pulling in those points, not really conceding any. And this is going to become a bit of a worry here, because Cheyenne Ang hasn't really come to the party in the last few points. A lovely finish. Used the backhand
20.
greatly to advantage for that, net winner. So
Service over. 14.
I'm not going anywhere. I'd want to stay in the game. That's exactly what Cheyenne Ang will be saying, because she's just pulled a point away, even though it was match point and she's finished it. So Renee Thang has pretty much won this event 21-17, 21-14. And with that, it's Kong Hwa that win the first event of the day, that is the girls' singles event. Renee Thang the winner, 21-17, 21-14, the result. So the first doubles matchup is on currently on the next court, and we shall tell you about that in just a little bit. So do stay with us right here at the Konghua High School. We've still got 2 more singles to go, and I was about to say 1.5 doubles, but actually 1 more doubles after the current one gets over. Stay with us as the action continues, and we are coming at you live, as I said earlier. And don't forget, if you want to catch up with any of our activities, we will flash you our URL in just a little bit. But for now, it's time to sit back and await the next contest that will kick in the girls' singles.
Okay, players ready to play? Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Tao Nan School, represented by Shana Ong Xian Chi. And on my left, Konghua School, represented by Laura Hua Shun En. Konghua School to serve, Lobo, play.
So just kicking off our second event in the singles, and it's Konghua School who started off with the serve, but Tao Nan now winning it. Let me very quickly remind you of our young ladies, introduce you to them. It's Shauna Ong who was representing Tao Nan, and for Konghua School it's Laura Fu. So Laura and Shauna, these are our young athletes right on the screen in front of us. In front of you. Lovely to watch these 2 schools go up against each other. It was a very good contest, the first singles. And in the second, of course, it's an entirely different story. We shall find out what transpires here right now. So currently it is 4-1, and it's Konghua's Laura who leads Shauna Ong of Tao Nan. Konghua looking fairly strong today. I've watched them. They've always been, top 4, the top 4 team in the zonals. But Tao Nan, on the other hand, have always been a team that has won their contest. Really left to see what transpires here today between the young girls who are battling it out. It is Laura who leads 7-1. Certainly put herself in a very, very strong position, setting herself up for a win. She's got a few good shots up her sleeve, but now it's over to young Shauna to serve. Well, she would have wanted the finish, but it was not going to be easy for Laura. Shauna using the net to advantage, but lovely return from Laura earlier, and it is the young lady from Konghua School who will get the advantage of this as she leads 8-3. Oh, lovely finish there. When you go cross court, and you can do it gently, not too much, just that natural touch required there. You got to pull back the aggression out of shots like that to make the birdie sail over and land. So unable to really get the better of her opponent for this part of the game. And interestingly, Konghua displaying very, very strong, a very strong game plan that they've come with. So currently it is Laura who leads 11 points to 4 as we've got into the first interval. It's very crucial for Tao Nan to actually pull off a win in at least one or two of their events if they want to stay in this contest. There is a doubles event on next door, but if Konghua tend to win their first three events, they've basically won the finals. Now, back to the action here. A few words for young Shauna from her coach. And it's interesting to see what transpires. Stay with us as the action continues at the Konghua High School. So 5-11 is where it stands. And what's interesting is, well, she is making the effort. It's definitely been a bit of a trial year for Shauna Ong, but hasn't had too many worries. She's been able to pull in the points, well, step back into the game, and she can. But it's only the first game, and this is what makes it so crucial. You don't want to put your opponent on the front foot to give them that confidence. You want to fight, and if they have to win the first game, you want to make them sweat as much as they can. That sets you up for the second win for a good comeback. And getting it within the line once again to take her points tally now to 13. And it's Shauna who's on 7. Now 14 points for young Laura. I must remind you that Laura, of course, is in of Konghua, is from primary 5. She's a young lady who does put in a good amount of time in practice. And just got a word there from her teacher earlier. Now let's not forget they are also celebrating their 68th anniversary. That's the school is celebrating its 68th anniversary. That's 6-8. And what a joy it would be! What a joy it would be for them if they could actually win the finals on this auspicious day, or this very, very important day in the school's history. So 18-8. Very, very healthy lead for young Laura. Well, I have to say it's one of those key elements in any game to see them come down to match point. But game point, you still have a chance to get back in and well, fight it back with the opponent. So best of three is what we're looking at. This is only the first game, and she has won it. That's Laura of Kong Hwa takes the first game 21-8. It's a good chance here for Shauna to get back into the action as well. Remember, there's 2 more games to go, and if she can make a comeback in the second game, Shauna's going to give herself a fighting chance to make it through and win the event. So for the time being, it's 21-8. And let's find out a bit more when, well, our young ladies get back on court. So for the doubles event, we're trying to find out what the finish was.
Second game, le ball, play. One love.
So it's back to the action here. We're into our second game of the second singles. We shall give you information on the doubles matchup in just a little bit, because that is so crucial to us to know who will win the finals. Right now it's Kong Hwa who are leading by 1 event. It's the second event that's on between the schools right now. Well, I'd be surprised, because normally Thao Nan Well do have a very, very good ability to start off strong and stay strong in the contest. But today, Kong Hwa in the singles, well, just holding their own. Six love is what it is, as young Laura continues with her exploits. She just made that 7 love. A few unforced errors from Shauna Ong. So 8 love, and that's not really what, well, she'd want to see. And finally, joy here for Shauna Ong as she wins, Shauna Ong wins service. And it's back to Laura, who's leading by 9 points to 1. And that's the first rally that's brewing between our athletes, but not for too long. And it's 11-1 as our athletes get into the interval. Kong Hwa on a very, very good footing here. They currently are in a strong position. Let's not forget, for Kong Hwa, they are coached by Wave Links. On the other hand, we've got 3 coaches for Thao Nan.
Court 3, 20 seconds. Court 3, 20 seconds. Thank you, coach. 11-1, play.
So 11-1.
12-1.
Now 12-1 as she continues to keep those points coming in. I'm talking about Laura Phua of
13-1.
Kong Hwa. It's a bit unreal, actually, this turn of events. And it's not like, well, young
14.
Shauna Ong has not been putting in her best. She has been battling it out. But on 14 points, Laura Phua, she's been quite strong with the shot selection. She's been confident about where all she wants to put that birdie, in what places.
It's over. 2-15. Three, 15. Service over. 16-3.
Just to keep you in the loop, the first doubles event that was played between Olivia Lim and Alyssa Wee of Tao Nan against Althea So and Melissa Po of Kong Hwa. It is Kong Hwa that won that event, with Althea So and Melissa Po winning 21-14, 21-17, which means they've got two events in the bag, Kong Hwa, and if Laura Phua finishes this game and wins this match, it is Kong Hwa who will win the finals in 2021. They will be zonal champions.
Over. 18-4.
Now she's kept that down,
Service over. 5-18.
and she's not willing to give him that easily. Shauna Ong. She's got the skills, just about being able to employ them.
Service over.
And
19-5.
young Laura Phua has been able to, well, keep her Tao Nan opponent on her toes.
Service over. 6-19.
6-19. It is Shauna Ong who'll serve. So this could very well be the clincher for Kong Hwa.
Service over. 20. Match point.
That's match point and championship point, actually, for Kong Hwa High School. Oh, lovely finish. She's staying in it.
Service over.
Nice backcourt drop from young Shauna Ong. She's on 7 points. Looking for that gentle touch, but she's got it into the net, and that's pretty much it. As Kong Hwa finish a clean sweep, and 21-8, 21-7 is how this game has finished, with Laura Phua of Kong Hwa winning her school the championship as well as that match. Now let's not forget it was Renee Thang who started with a 21-17, 21-14 win over Tao Nan's Cheyenne Ong. Then Althea So and Melissa Po of Kong Hwa defeated Olivia Lim and Alyssa Wee 21-17, 21-14 to claim their first doubles. And then Laura Phua finished off with a 21-7, 21-8 win over her opponent, Shauna Ong. So Kong Hwa have actually won the zonal finals. We move on to the last two events, which of course is more for pride, and it's also good for the morale of the girls. So Bethany Lim, the captain of Tao Nan, along with Cheryl New, takes on Bentley Lim and Zoan Lai of Kong Hwa School. And right on the court in front of us, the two young ladies that you can see in conversation with the umpire. That's Liam Regia and Heidi Yin. And Heidi, of course, represents Kong Hwa. She's from Primary 5. And Liam Regia is from Tao Nan. So do stay with us as the action continues. This is the last singles event And simultaneously on the other court, of course, it's the last doubles event. So we do hope you've been enjoying our coverage of it. And it's been an exciting time for us right here with the Singapore Primary Sports School Initiative, the National School Games 2021. It's been such a delight. I've enjoyed every moment of it, whether it's been table tennis or it's been badminton. Those are the two sports I've followed very closely. A little bit of tennis too, here and there. And Sepak Takraw. Who can forget that most enjoyable and glorious game? You could just play it anyway, can't you? Absolutely love it. So we are back to the action in front of us. The girls were just warming up a little bit. My name is Glenn Mascarenas. I've been with you right through this day, and we do hope, of course, we have more school sports action that continues in the latter part of the year. But for now, well, we've got to stay safe. You've got to be careful. Take care of yourself and your families. Well, try and get a bit of physical activity when you can. Maybe down, in your own area. Don't walk into crowded places. That's really the best options that we have. Don't try and play too much of golf on your Switch or your Wii. So here it is, the URL, just in case you want to follow us, or I recommend that you follow us, go.gov.sg/NSG. You can catch all the action and all the information that you require. And it also serves in a way to support our younger athletes in terms of the more hits that a website normally registers, the more content that will be generated. And our youngsters and the younger athletes do require that push from each and every one of us. I've always supported my local sports, not because it needed it, but because I love it. And I suppose if you show that love a little bit, it goes a long way in seeing, some of the finest athletes develop from the entire fountain of talent that we have. We've seen some great athletes in table tennis and badminton emerge. And I've been delighted. I've been delighted by some of the skills of these young ladies and the young lads that we watched in the last 10 days or so. So, for Taonan, once again, let me remind you, it's Liam Raija. And for Konghua, it's Heidi Yin. It is Konghua who start off. She's got a nice snappy wrist, Liam Raija. Very evident. Just to run through a few bits and bobs, that I did mention earlier that for Taonan, it's Bethany Lim who is the captain. And she had a conversation with me earlier and told me that they normally practice about 4 hours, two sessions in a week. And it's been very interesting to see how they have actually put together a very dedicated badminton program, in the sense that it's been one of the sports they've always focused on. To be fair, it's also a school that's very close to my house. So I've actually watched a lot of these athletes train when passing by. You see them in action, really seem to be enjoying themselves, which is actually the primary form of the primary role or aim of every sport. First, enjoy yourselves, and then, of course, that passion will lead you to greater heights. Let's also tell you that, I was asking Bethany why a lot of her and her mates got into playing badminton. She said it's because it's a team sport, and, you could get together, with the team. They love doing warm-ups and stretches. It makes it fun because they're doing it in groups and not, on their own. And the players, of course, to watch out for. One has been Shauna Ong, who we did see in the previous game, and the doubles pairing. So the doubles matchup. The doubles matchup was won, the first one by Konghua. We'll keep you informed about the second one as well. So currently on court for Konghua, it is Liam Raija who's behind as Heidi Yin leads. 8-3 now. Well, she's raced ahead with those points rather quickly. And that's what you really want to see. You want to see a quick game, but not one-sided. So just a few worrying times for, the athletes of Tao Nan. Kong Hwa have dominated today's play. It's been quite strong. But can Liam Raijia change that? She most certainly could. But for Kong Hwa, it's currently 10 points to Heidi Yin, who would prefer that lead in the break, and she's got it. As she gets into the interval, she leads 11 points to 4. So I was, of course, mentioning to you a few bits and bobs on the team, and for Tao Nan, they've got 3 coaches. Very, very important to know. And if you look at the other side of the fence, and that's for Hong Hwa, they actually practice 3 sessions, 3 hours for each session. They've always made it to the zonal top 4 in the boys and the girls. Last 3 years they've been coached by Wavelengths. And very interesting was asking them what their philosophy for badminton is, and they did mention determination, drive, and the tradition of making it to the top. It's been like a culture in their school to at least make, the top 3 or the 4. So Renee Tang was one of their star players. She and Melissa were captains. Melissa, of course, played the first doubles matchup. But currently it's Heidi Yin who's representing Hong Hwa. She's ahead of younger Liam Raijia, who's now on 5 points. And Heidi is on 13. So currently it is 6:15. Decent net play, and she can actually orchestrate which way the birdie is going to go. Has been able to trouble her opponent time and again. I'm talking about Heidi Yin. 18-6. That's where it's at. Just to update you on our scores so far, it is Tao Nan that fell to the first singles and the doubles, but they did make a comeback in their second doubles event. So the first 2 singles and the first doubles was won by Hong Hwa School, and winning the first game 21-7 in the last singles event. It's Heidi Yin. So in the previous doubles matchup, it's Bethany Lim, the captain of Tao Nan, along with Cheryl New, who got the better of Bentley Lim and Zawon Lai. So it's been a good event from them that they capped off one event, and you never know. In this event, it's still open, and if Liam Raijia can come back into it, you might see Tao Nan finish, with 2 events in the bag. Having said that, it is the finals, or the zonal champions are Kong Hwa. They've been crowned. Currently it stands at 3-1. At the end of this game, we'll be able to tell. what exactly transpires. But a very, very interesting event because, you know, if you had followed Tao Nan and Hong Kua through most of their exploits in the prelims and in the journey to the finals, it was quite different. But here, Hong Kua have just dominated. They've dominated most of the action that's happened here today. And if you ask me, it's been quite an impressive showing from the home team, Hong Kua. Six love. She's now racing ahead with those points. Young Heidi Yin. It's not something that she'd want to see earlier, but it's been a bit bothersome. Just looking back at the way things had panned out a while back, the East Senior Division has been quite an interesting event as far as the girls and the boys are concerned. Well, in the semi-finals, it's very interesting. Tao Nan got the better of Paya Lebar Methodist School. Defeating them 3-2. And then, of course, it was Kong Hwa who got the better of Poching, and they beat them 3-2 as well. So that's really been quite an eye-opener for us. So Paya Lebar Methodist Girls' School and Poching School met earlier, and it was Paya Lebar Methodist that went down to Poching. Poching winning, that. It's now 10-2. Things aren't looking too good here for, well, Tao Nan as young Heidi Yin takes another lead into the interval. So it was Poching that won the third position after defeating Paya Lebar Methodist 3-2. That was in the third and fourth place matchup in the finals, of course, right now. It is Kong Hwa who are leading. They've already won 3 events as compared to 1 event that's been picked up by Tao Nan. And in the last and final event, as the girls graced it right before us, it is Heidi Yin who has won the first game, and she leads in the second game 11-2, and she will resume with the serve. Her opponent, Liam Raichia of Tao Nan. So 12-2 now. Thirteen two. She's just kept her game very simple, just simple serve. She's got a decent variation when it comes to moving the body around the court. She's made her opponent sweat it out a bit and relies very heavily on placement. don't know if I mentioned this earlier. What's very interesting is I was actually watching Liam Raja doing warm-up, and I did see she's got a fairly good whip of the wrist, but I haven't seen it really today. I'm in the contest, but pre-contest it was there, which is fairly interesting. She just hasn't had the ability to, employ or harness the skill of those shots for today's event. But the game's certainly running away from her as Heidi Yin now is racing ahead. She's on to 17-3. Remember, if she wins this, it's pretty much Kong Hwa finishing off with a 4-1 result. It was best of 5 events, 3 singles and 2 doubles. 2 singles have already been won by Kong Hwa and doubles as well. 1 doubles event has been won by Tao Nan. And this is our last event. Last event of the day, if you ask me. The Tao Nan boys were having a field day earlier. But their teammates, the Tao Nan girls, have just had a few worries today. Remember, the team to wins the East Zone Championship. And the other team, of course, will be second best. So it's match point here. And she's dragged that wide, which means this is ended at 21-4. So Heidi Yin has won the last singles event for Kong Hwa School, 21-7, 21-4 against her opponent Liam Raijia. Let me remind you that this was Kong Hwa High School facing off with Tao Nan School. So Kong Hwa School and Tao Nan School locked in battle for the East Zone Championships in the National School Games. And it is Kong Hwa who cap it off 4-1 after winning 3 singles and 1 doubles event. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and we were coming at you live from the Kong Hwa School. We do hope you enjoyed our coverage of this entire event. And, we do hope that more school games will continue once we've got everything in place as far as safety and precaution is concerned. But for now, follow the rules and just wait for us to get back into the thick of things. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and stay blessed.